Yo, what's up, guys? APW Sports signing in, and I want to particularly talk about the Dallas Cowboys in this video. And are the Dallas Cowboys pretenders? Is a big question that has been thrown around throughout league circles, throughout media circles. And the way that this football team has played all season long, to be honest, 100%, I really believe that this team is a pretender. And this is why we come into this year with the Cowboys. One of the things that they needed to address in this offseason was the running back position. Didn't do it. You didn't go after a guy like a Derrick Henry. You didn't go sign guys probably like an Austin Eckler, but the DeAndre Swifts of the world, maybe an Aaron Jones, that could have boosted your running game. You bring back Ezekiel Elliott from The Ohio State University, but Zeke has been battling knee injuries the last couple of years, and he is not the same player that the Cowboys drafted in 2016. And it's showing. They just can't run the football at all. In these 6 games, they only have 2 games as a team where they rushed for over 100 yards. And that was week 1 against the Browns, which that's not looking like a good win, especially how the Browns have looked this season. And then we're talking about a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers where they missed a couple of players. And then on top of that, against the Steelers, the Cowboys turned the football over 3 times, and they had red zone turnovers. This team has not been successful in the red zone. This team has been turning over the football. In each one of their losses, they have a turnover. And then on top of that, you have 5 turnovers against the Detroit Lions in a 47-9 beat down of the Cowboys football team. Defensively, one of the things that stood out from that playoff loss last season to the Green Bay Packers was that you cannot stop the run. But did the Cowboys do anything to impress or improve that run defense at all? Absolutely not. So the Cowboys' recipe for failure is the 2 things that you need to have some success in this league. Number 1, you need to be able to run the football. The Cowboys can't do that. Number 2, you need to be able to stop the run. And the Cowboys can't do that either. Now, we know we have injuries to Parsons. We know we had Demarcus Lawrence. We know we have DaRon Bland that has been injured. We know we have a guy like Kendrick that has been hurt. But they have nothing as far as the interior and the physical presence of the defensive line to be able to stop the run. And they did not go and improve on running back, which they need to successfully win football games with an offensive line that's, I'm not going to say the best offensive line that they've had and we've seen the Cowboys had in recent years, but it's no bad offensive line. And what you don't do is you don't improve the running back, bringing in running backs. You don't. And then this team that was already not a very good team is just becoming an expensive team when you pay a guy like CeeDee Lamb, you pay Dak Prescott, he's basically a $60 million quarterback, but yet they have no running game. You cannot be a successful football team in 2024 or any era without having at least a productive run game. As the Cowboys sit right now as far as running the football, they are the last ranked rushing offense and the 26th ranked rushing defense. Now, they can throw the ball. They have 3rd in passing, but you're throwing the ball a lot because you're trailing in a lot of these blowouts. And then on top of that, you haven't won a home game this year. You blew out in the playoffs. You don't improve this roster on any side of the football. And you don't improve the needs of this team on any side of the football. And you have the same problems with this football team that we've seen in their playoff game against the Green Bay Packers. They got boat raced out of the building last week by the Steelers. They got beat the hell out of by the Ravens. They get beat the hell out of by the Saints, all at home. This football team coming into week 7, and I've done this YouTube thing for quite a few years. This is probably the worst Cowboys football team that we've had since my time of covering football since 2018. This is probably the worst Cowboys team that I've ever seen. And the record is 3-3. I am personally not one of those guys that the record is who you say you are. I'm not a believer in that. the record could say one thing, but the eye test, and this is why also, if you guys are new to the channel, I'm not a big numbers guy. The numbers may say one thing, but the eye test say that this Cowboys team, even when it was healthy, was not a very good football team. It's really not a very good football team. And there are a lot of people to blame for the Cowboys' success or lack thereof in 2024. You could blame the running game not being able to be productive because your offensive line is solid, but it's not the best. Then you got to top of that with teams are not threatened by the Cowboys running the football, which means they can go after the quarterback, which means they can be more aggressive because they know they're not going to see a productive running game, which means they can do so many things schematic-wise as a defense to create some of those turnovers, get after Prescott, be more aggressive with the secondary. You can do so many things as a defense when you know a team is coming into a game as a one-dimensional team on the offensive side of the ball. They can't run the football? Okay, cool, bet. I'm going to sit these safeties back a little bit. I'm going to probably blitz up front because, number one, I just know they're not going to run the football. I could probably blitz a little bit more. And if I have one of those stud pad rushers on my team, I know he's probably going to tee off because he doesn't feel threatened by any bit of a running game. And then the Cowboys' other weakness is stopping the run. They didn't beef up the interior of this defensive front. They have some speed. They're athletic as a defensive unit, but they are not a very physical football team, and that's talking about either side of the ball. This Cowboys team is just not a very physical football team. And coming into this year, I just thought, okay, maybe they could do enough to probably be in a division lead, probably win the division, but probably have that same playoff failure. This year, it's just not looking like they're probably going to make the playoffs at this point. I know there's still a lot of season to go, but this team is just not looking like a playoff team right now. This team is not looking like a team that can contend for anything in the NFC East division, even though the Eagles have their own faults, and we have the Giants who are the Giants. The Commanders looking like they can run away with this division at this point, especially with the Cowboys playing like they are and the Eagles having their own issues. The Cowboys might be out of reach for the division. They probably might be in the thick of things, maybe depending on how things go after their bye week coming up. But this is just not a very good football team right now. And then on top of that, it's about to become a more expensive football team in the next few years. So I already say it, and I was one of those guys that said they didn't need to pay Dak because they might need to do a rebuild. And it's looking like they probably got to do a rebuild. Or retooling is not happening because you're becoming expensive, and there's only so much money wiggle room that you're going to have the next couple of years with all these contracts that they pay, and they still have to pay Micah Parsons if they want to keep him around. So not only is this team flawed, extremely flawed, you're not going to have the resources to fix some of those flaws. And then on top of that, Mike McCarthy is probably going to be out of the door. And who's going to want to come in and coach for this Cowboys team and Jerry Jones? I don't know. This Cowboys team is not only a pretender, we might be witnessing the downfall of the Dallas Cowboys over the next few years. But hey, those are my thoughts on the Cowboys. I will catch you guys later. Leave your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm PW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.